Hey, what's going on today, guys and gals? This video is for folks that want to make money in Dune Awakening by trading with other players, either through the auction house or through private sales of goods or commodities. So let's dive right into some of the things and some of the items you can sell on Dune Awakening that are usually popular for other players. Starting off in the top five, some of the best items to sell to other players are going to be things that people are going to use on a daily basis but don't want to farm. This is probably one of my favorite ones to sell when you have almost no money, guys, but it's going to be plant fiber. Believe it or not, most people do not want to go farm plant fiber all day. So if you actually manage to go and find someone who can buy your plant fiber, you're going to be rolling in the cash before you know it. Plant fiber, usually depending on the server, is going to be a little bit overpriced though. So if our goal is to make money quickly and we don't have a lot of upfront capital, we're going to want to undercut the market on whichever the price is for your server. So if you have someone who's selling, for example, at 500 per item, I would undercut them by as much as 50% or more because you can still make a quick buck off of selling this to somebody and fire sale it, especially if the prices are duplication range of where we had some of those exploits in the game. So just keep that in mind. At number two for the starting resources, guys, it would be, of course, none other than agave seeds. Agave seeds have a great amount of sales for people that are into building for Dune Awakening. I find this to be an easy one to put on the market and also to undercut people. You could do both private sales to people without the transaction fees, but also put this on the auction house and it'll probably sell within the first day or two, depending on the volume of people at your server. A lot of people love to build in this game. There's always going to be demand for agave seeds, and there's just never enough people trying to farm them. So take advantage of it when you can, guys, because agave seeds definitely will make you some good upfront starting cash in Dune Awakening. This next one, guys and gals, is going to be one that's going to be a little bit harder to farm, but if you do manage to get stacks of it, people will definitely buy it. That's going to be spice infused plastinium dust. Now, you can also sell spice infused or aluminum dust, but it just won't be as high a demand as plastinium dust, as this is an endgame resource that is used to craft all the armored weapons and stuff from grade 0 to grade 5 of Dune Awakening's current tiered progression system in the overland testing stations. So there's always going to be demand for this resource, but as you can see on my server, the prices are just a tiny bit too high for my liking as far as what people are posting them at. So this is where you can undercut your market and start to sell them at a cheaper rate. Now, it might be a little bit harder to farm this resource, guys and gals, but it's definitely worth to sell it, especially if you're in the mid-game progression of where you're still trying to accumulate money. Now, Solari can go a long ways for buying up your consumables and things from vendors, so it's definitely worth trying to sell a stack or two of spice infused plastinium dust when you can to get your cash stack up for any sort of future content updates of things that you want to buy with your Solari. Next up, guys and gals, we're going to go over irradiated slag. Radiated slag is one of those resources that people are always going to need in order to make infused fuel cells. Right now, in the current state of the game, this is the best in slot fuel source for power generators in the game. So people are always going to want to stack up on this irradiated slag. And currently, since uh, I would call a feature of the game was currently nerfed as far as acquiring a bunch of irradiated slag more easily. Irradiated slag is only going to go up in price over time, so I would definitely wait out a couple weeks of the publishing of this video before you start selling this resource. But when people start to get desperate for this resource to stock up on it, when it's harder to farm, this is going to be the time to sell it, and there's always going to be demand for it. So I would definitely put this on your radar, guys and gals, and start selling irradiated slag when you can. Next up, let's talk about schematic pattern grade 5. This is a resource that most people are sleeping on as far as selling it. You can both do private sales and also sell this on the auction house, and I think they're going to be pretty liquid in order to sell, depending on the server you're on. The reason why I think this is such a great resource to sell is because there is a huge item sink for this resource because people are constantly crafting armor and weapons with this resource, making it so it's kind of it has a level of scarcity game right now. And considering that grade 5 weapons are always in demand, I think that people are going to continue to buy this resource And if you do manage to accumulate a lot of these from when you're dungeon farming, I would definitely sell a stack or two to get your cash stack up if you're still low on Solari. Last on the list, guys, that I want to talk about today are, of course, schematic patterns for both armor and weapons. Now, there's several in-demand weapons that I want to talk about, as well as several in-demand armor sets that people are going to be vying after to buy on the auction house. Now, if you look at my current market, these prices are just a little bit too steep for people to actually buy. So this is where you can step in and actually fill that gap if you're on a server that has sky-high prices. I would try to undercut the market a little bit and sell some of these grade 5 or grade 4 patterns. Some of the most popular weapons that people are going to be using in the current meta, as of the recording of this video, are the Perforator, the Regis triple shot repeating rifle, the Leech's Maw or Burning Blades, the Experimental Lightning Gun, and any sort of pulse sword. Those are the most popular items in the game right now. And as far as ones that are in huge supply but also still really good, it's going to be the Ancient Way, of course. The Black Market Lasgun is not too bad to sell, but just because the lasgun just got nerfed currently with the patch that just came out in the last couple of days, I don't think it's going to have as high of demand. And the lasgun itself also received energy balance nerfs against the bosses in the overland testing stations upon the first release. So I don't see it selling just as well compared to something like the triple shot or the perforator or the shell burster for that matter. So I would keep that in mind, guys, when you have these extra schematics laying around. Another big thing that people usually sleep on are the actual augments associated with these schematics. So if you have schematics that you can either craft yourself or sell in the open market for the perforator, such as heavy caliber, or the capacity expanders for the with the perforator, or the triple shot, um, those things will sell in high demand as well, especially if they're grade 5. Moving on over to the armor schematics, the ones that seem to be selling pretty well are the pincushion and forge sets. The other armors are just not selling as high in high demand. Now the prices are obviously going to be a little bit lower compared to weapons, as most people will be buying for the weapons versus the armor. So keep that in mind, guys. And of course, the prices are going to vary. But the worst case scenario you can do is if you have a large amount of these armor and weapon plants laying around, I would sell them in the Atreides or Hargo chat with the people on your server in a private sale so you can avoid those transaction fees and you can just meet the customer for what they need. So definitely don't sleep on trying to sell some of these plans, guys. And I hope that's going to be helpful as far as trying to sell these in your Dune adventures when it comes to making Solari. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. I hope that my MBA in Dune Awakening has gotten you guys some value today as far as trying to sell some items and commodities in Dune Awakening. I hope that you are able to make a ton of Solari in the coming months, and we'll see what the state of the game will be in the fall when they release even more content. So I'm curious to hear what kind of things you guys are selling right now in Dune Awakening to make your Solari. I'd love to hear your comments in the video below. And please don't forget to drop a like or subscribe to my channel. It goes a really long way. I'd love to grow this channel more and provide more content for you guys in the coming days for Dune Awakening. Thanks for tuning in and take care of yourself.